Awesome. Thank you so much for getting that all started here, and we're here to start this fun stream with you guys. It's gonna be a definitely a familiar dive for a lot of people because we got a couple fantasy things lined up here, but we're gonna be exploring how to use the style creator in a way that I feel like is has a lot of utility and will give us some real fun stuff to dive into. Thank you all so much for everyone who came in early and has been hanging out with us. We stream here every Friday at 4. But the it is something that it is something that I am so excited to look forward to every week because we definitely make something that just encourages all sorts of new projects almost every week. I'm just so stoked to see what you guys get into with this, especially. So, all right, yeah, thank you all. I'll give a little intro here to get things started because there's still a couple more people that are going to be wandering in here after we hit the button here. But for all the regulars here, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and whatnot. You can find us in.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, and having Rhapsody, AC, and Kiki here. We got the whole team here today. So
Hi.
thank you all so much for being here. Uh, yeah, the I am so curious to see what we can do with honing in a couple of like key missing at least in my experience of doing this stuff so far. I feel like we've finally figured out a missing key for a lot of the style diversity that we've been wanting out of V7, particularly for anime aesthetics. I feel like we've cracked that nut with the style creator. So we'll dive right into that. The
So excited.
uh,
I'm telling you guys, he showed me some images as a preview, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, this is what I wanted.
yeah, when Rhapsody's mic starts breaking, you're gonna have a good time. It is certainly true that what we're gonna be digging into here is mostly focused on the results of working off of our previous work before, and then adding on to that with the style creator. So I'll dive into first just the setup here because I feel like everyone will want to dive right into this right away. Let's first talk about how this is all set up here on the stream. So we have two different channels for you guys to hop into. We have VC Create and VC Text. VC Create is where we're prompting all together, where you can send your prompts in and we can work on them together. There's a couple ways you can bring prompts from one channel to another, but that's where all that's happening. And VC Text is on the left side of the screen that you see here, and that's how you guys chat with me and this entire project in general. So if you want to say hey, all that kind of stuff, pop into VC Text and do so. I am wanting to hear from you for sure. But what I'm gonna do first is actually use slash show to bring in this new style that is, well, I mean, established style. I would say not new, like established style that we've been working on for so long. I am going to bring in just basically an sref code. It's boiled it down to a single sref code. So I'm going to grab this one here, copy job ID. I'm using midjourney.com to get the job ID on this one. And then I will bring it to VC Create for you guys. So slash show and then paste the job ID. And that's how we bring things from one channel to another. So what we're seeing here is the combination of the Phantasma comics that we've made in the past, which is the mood board that's listed here, profile LMFJNBC, combined with the SREF that was made using the style creator. And I'm just blown away by a lot of the potential of this SREF code specifically. Just to show you guys, I will re-roll this. We've done this as a void prompt, so basically nothing is written in here. It's just giving us a good sample of what's inside of this without anything specifically written. But if I go ahead and hit re-roll on this, we can actually change what's in this prompt to give direction for the image, of course. So let's go ahead and say that there is a Lich King holding the hero by the hair above a canyon. Above a canyon. I'm just thinking of like one of those dramatic scenes where we have this like extreme. We're going to include extreme high angle view. And I could say that this is a view of that, but I'm just going to go off of this and see what we get. But I'm very curious to see what you guys dive into with this. It is something that on its own, it'll just create these like gorgeous aesthetics, like this gorgeous fantasy aesthetic that we've been aiming for a while to get this darker scene. Like I think that's the main thing is that a lot of our fantasy stuff was all set in the same 3 p.m. daylight sort of space. But now we're able to see so much more diversity, particularly within the blue, like the darker palettes, and that's partly what excites me about this. So here is the Lich King Hero by the Hair Extreme High Angle View. So the by the hair it didn't really get very well, but we definitely get all these cool angles and perspectives that I just love the high angle prompt. It does some pretty cool
I
stuff.
love it so much. Like we have been developing this style in Midjourney version 6 and Niji 6 for a year. And then with version 7, we got all the benefits of version 7 with like the longer, the better prompt adherence and the longer prompts we can write because of that. But it broke the style and it was almost impossible to get it back. But now it's easy.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see how far you guys could take this SREF code specifically. We're going to break it down a little bit so you guys could see what its parts look like, and then also how to apply this to any style, to any production of how I produced this. We're going to dive into today. So, the feel free to share your favorite examples. We'll run Midjourney videos of those examples. So like if you post an image inside of VC text that basically tells us, hey, I want to see this animated, that's the easiest way to get us to run that stuff for you. But just because if you post it in VC Create and ask for it to be rendered in video, there's a chance that we might not see that. There's just so much stuff that comes through that feed. But 3 p.m. daylight fantasy scene. Yes. Yes, thank you, I troll for you. This bottom left corner was basically like how every scene was looking. But yeah, now we have a lot more diversity because we're relying on SREF code and not a singular image or reference based off of just a picture. So let's dive into exactly the mechanics behind this combination here. So like if I go ahead and re-roll one of these void prompts again, which is just the prompts with 2M2 quotes in the front. If I rerun one of these, this one up here, I'm going to first run it without the mood board, which includes all of our previous comics that we've made in the fantasy space. If I run it without that, we're going to see what it looks like as just the SREF code, basically. And you can kind of understand like how it's giving these clean line art versions from version 7, which is version 7 is somewhat notorious for having a lot of like complexities and variations, especially in like line weight and such. The SREF code helps hone that in and focus on just getting us clean line art by default. So if you look at what it looks like without our mood board profiles, without our comics, it feels very much like a flat cell animation, which is exactly what I want. I want to be able to read all these shapes very cleanly, very easily, which is awesome. Super, super handy. And so now you can start to combine them with your mood boards to get these kind of clean line art versions within Midjourney version 7. It's just so cool. It's just so cool to see this. Nice. I love the spaces you guys are already venturing into. This is awesome. Okay, so let's try this then. Oh, hey, Legal Beagle. Hey, Lolo. Sorry, we're immediately diving into fantasy stuff here, so I'm very curious to see what you guys do with this too. A tall Native American elf with silver streaking braided black hair, polar bear skin fur cloak, hides, horned, feathered headdress, whimsical winter attire. That is friggin' cute. I love the third one of this. Just, just that, like that. Just it has so
Oh
much
yeah.
mood to it. I love it. Um, yes.
And the colors, like the muted background colors and the simple shapes. Like there is not much, there's a lot of shading going on. It has this painterly look, but it's simple and easy to read at any sizes. And that will make it more easy to animate with AI too, like
Mhm.
especially Midjourney.
The faster you can read it as a person, the faster the AI video can interpolate it and turn it into something that makes sense too. Like shape language is super important. That I feel like that it's really easy to overlook because we see lots of different interpretations of anatomy, interpretations of different shapes and space and all that sort of stuff. But as soon as as soon as the it gets too uh, lost in texture and I would argue like style in some ways, that you end up not being able to even tell your story. Like it needs to be able to be understood more broadly than that. So something like this is just so much more inspiring for me too. So not just for Midjourney, but also for me. I see we got some fun variations going on here. Ooh, Glibber Drop, Bibble Drop, the Warrior Knight of Darkness. That is awesome. I love the third one too. Just that there's a certain level of menace that I'm getting from that character too. That's so cool.
And
Um,
the faces on the dragons. They have all so much personality and emotion. It's
the,
so
it it's
beautiful.
so good, isn't it? Like, oh wow, okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love this. I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot this stream because it's very much like I've curated this for me to like it. But I mean, there's just some badass stuff here. Now, okay, let's keep going. Let's go into exactly how I made this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rewind on my Midjourney account and get us to the point where I had been happy with this and effectively what was the process that I used to make this, because you guys are going to see a whole bunch of me experimentations that I did with OREFs and stuff. I'm not going to focus too much on OREFs today. I'm mostly going to be exploring the space using the SREFs and such. It's just going to give us more cinematic and interesting imagery like this. So I am first going to, in fact, I did make one for Blobby too, by the way. I was like, pink slimes have invested or infested. It says invested instead of infested. My bad. I spelling error. The Gnome Kingdom. So I'm definitely, yeah,
One thing I want to add to that is,
yeah.
even though we're exploring something specific today and we're all super excited for it, if you have questions, never hesitate to ask them in VC text. We're happy to answer questions, even if they divert a little bit from what we are doing here on stage today. We will find a time and place. So ask freely away. This is a learning stream. So
Yes, yes, please do. And if you want us to dive into any kind of particular, style or anything like that, don't feel like we're going to be only doing like, fantasy anime stuff. It's just this is something that I know that a lot of the people here love. So like it'll be interesting to see where you guys go with this. But I also want to take it in other places. I will be announcing the ongoing series stuff from the Gnarly Studios server as well in here in a minute, in which case we will make a style creator around one of the other series that we have here. So it'll be an interesting stream here today for sure. But I'm going to show you guys where I started with this, and I actually started with an error. I started because I tried to use Niji 6, which is an older version of Midjourney, with the style creator. It did not like that. So what I did was I used this prompt specifically. I wouldn't worry about the seed that's here. The only thing that's important was the fact that I had used the profile codes from our fantasy series and a single image from our comic, the Spellbroke comic, which is this image right here. This was the style reference that I used, so like a literal image attached to the prompt to guide the style creator into picking which or to giving me a grid of results. So we're going to go through that with another comic style just to kind of explore that one as well. But you guys can see the results of what sort of refinements I was doing. It'll make more sense once I dive into the actual style creator. But the initial results is okay, but this was a problem that we were running into consistently, was that its understanding of characters and shading and line art specifically was getting muddled with all the information that was inside of the mood boards, because the mood boards are all just comics. Like if I open up the mood board for Phantasma here, it's all just comic panels, jokes, imagery from us on the server, just little gags and backgrounds and characters and some monsters and things from that we've all just had fun making together. But by the time we got to version 7, a lot of those generated images, like, they don't function as well for version 7 mood boards as they do for version 6. I've seen it described as basically Midjourney version 7 prefers real pictures, while version 6 is a little more liberal when it comes to the kind of images you use for reference. So in my experience, if you do have a lot of generated images, right, mood boards might not get you there all the way. You need to do what I'm doing here with the style creator to refine a custom sref code that will get you a image that is I think a little more technically in line with what you want. So with this initial result, yeah, it's pretty, but it's definitely murky. Like, it definitely doesn't have the line art that I'm looking for to be easily understood shape language. And as I started selecting options in the grid of cleaner shape language, it slowly started refining some of these results to be a bit cleaner. And so by the time I got to about 3 or 4 iterations in, I was starting to see, oh, there's some potential here. Like this image here, I thought, there's some potential in what this result is giving me. And as I just kept going, I think I was like 6 or 7 grids in by the time I picked this one. By the time we got to this sref code right here, and that's the one you guys are using right now. So and then without using the profiles attached to it, I just did this immediate test to see what sort of results we got with just the sref that was produced. And this might not be what you would have picked normally. Like, it doesn't look anything like our fantasy series, but it has all the technical requirements that I need for the fantasy series. It has clean line art that I can see, easily identify where characters are, where their faces are, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. One could say it has the style without the mood.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the vibe isn't there, but it has all of the technical requirements that I need for me to make a series that I feel like represents all the hard work that we've been putting into just look at this. I mean, just to give you guys an idea of like the potential of this. I really love this result. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous image of this girl entering this this dungeon covered in vines and weeds. And then I didn't even really think about what the character was going to be doing in this. I just ran it as a video prompt to see what Midjourney wants to do with this picture. And it instantly had her wanting to cut down the reeds, like with a sword here. And it's just, later on, I go in and I basically say, yeah, that's what she's doing. She's going through a dungeon and hacking away at all these reeds. But yeah, we'll be running a lot of these with video and seeing what sort of spaces we get into, because that's just the coolest thing about Midjourney videos. You could just hit extend, and then just see where your characters go. I'm going to also share this one just because it is one that I think is pretty inspiring for a undead or monstrous sort of villain character. So let's put that one in the mix too for you guys. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask inside of VC Text. There is going to be a couple of things that we have been meaning to do, like a beginner's starter course kind of thing. It is something that if you do have any questions, if you feel like we're kind of glossing over certain details, more than happy to dive back into the basics on a lot of stuff here. But as you guys keep going, because man, there's a lot of really gorgeous stuff I'm seeing. I could just ogle all day at these pictures. Um, I'm going to dive back into the list here and check out what you guys are up to. But first, we are going to jump into the Gnarly Studios server to one feature that so that anyone that's new here knows what we're kind of doing all week. But also because we have a new feature for you guys to check out. So let me go ahead and copy this over to my browser here. Let's see if it gets angry at me. It shouldn't. I've given it enough time. Okay. All right. All right. So at the Gnarly Studios server, we have a new that's something that was launched on Wednesday. We have something called ongoing series. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Raps?
Well, I can talk about it if
Oh,
you
please,
want me to
please,
talk
please
about
do,
it.
please do.
So, what happened was that recently we had a bunch of new users, community members come in from this very workshop. And we have a little tutorial thing when you join the server that tells you, yeah, go here, do this in this channel, and read the comics. And one wish was immediately that we open up a place where people could just see the past work, like the bigger pieces of work or the consecutive works of people that in one place, to just go in there and look at stuff and read it, and maybe also have a place for our community to publish long form content or even multiple short form things of the same series. And that is exactly what we did. We created this new channel, ongoing series. We asked our long lasting, amazing community members to just post their work that have multiple episodes in there. And that is what it is. Basically, if you want to show off some work in our community that is more than a one-off comic, then yeah, well, we can give you the rights to write in there, open up your own post, and just keep working and showing your good stuff. And there's amazing stuff in there. Like the only thing that's not a readable comic series right there is The Courageous Golden Heart, which is basically a movie by Alistair, but the other things are all yeah, readable things. And
Yeah,
you can just click in there and start at the top, read down to the bottom, and that's how you consume it.
yeah, and thank you for putting that together. It's so cool to see like all this sort of user demand, and also places to host this stuff. We eventually want to get a dedicated website that would do this as well, so that's more public. But for now, this will get us a place for a home for a lot of our stories. We are seeing like a handful of really cool comics right off the bat. I mean, I love I Troll Free's Lost World. I love all of these, by the way. I of course love Joel and X Piper and Tale of Piper. But I want to show you guys the range of these in the style creator, and I'm going to do that with Beneath the Open Sky, which is Rhapsodies. The reason I'm going to choose Rhapsodies is because it has this really strong art style. I believe it was like when we were making it originally, it was inspired by Sin City. In terms of just getting us that graphic novel like aesthetic. I really do love this. But we're gonna recreate the steps I used in the Style Creator for this comic to see if we can make something that gives us an SREF that will produce compatible imagery to her series here. So the first thing I'm going to do is because we have part one from Rhapsody, we have part two from My Troll Free here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably the most defining panel. I'm going to focus on only using one image for this. But let's go for, I would say, I think this one kind of covers the bases of all of the colors and and some of the shape language for the characters and stuff. I think this is good. So let's go ahead and copy this image. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that into my prompt bar. up here. I'm going to use the Midjourney website to do this because we are going to use the style creator. But I'm basically, you can see everything up here on the top. I'll make sure I make a Discord version of it too, so that you guys can mess around with this. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to drag that to the style reference box here. And I just do the empty void prompting with this just because I'm just curious to see what we get without giving it a lot of direction, because we could end up with in a sort of pigeonhole space that this was the old SREF for the Western world. Oh, that's right. Yes, we did make an SREF for it at one point. I'll use both. We'll see which one's better off of just the initial results so that we can kind of hone in what that is. So let me first submit this at 16:9 aspect ratio. I'll also make one with this. So copy, bring us to the top here, use, and then paste that as well, and then put that in. We'll see which one we kind of prefer here, but we can already see that the results that give us is certainly a pretty defined look, but it doesn't look like our comic just yet. And that's what the style creator is gonna let us do. So the SREF that we had before, it's certainly making. I think we're going to use the SREF that we had before. I think that's going to make the most sense. We get all of the red, the red dominance, almost vampiric coloring and whatnot. Let's go with that. Let's just go with this.
That's what started it, anyways. I mean, back when we created this, or when I created the first episode, I started also with the original SREF, of course, and then I brought it back a little bit towards dim other colors than red, and a little bit of a harsher black and white aesthetic and less gray, just to get it rolling. But it's like, if we start at the same point and then refine the style, that should be quite good.
Yeah. So at this point, what I'm gonna do now that I got my like initial like result off of this SREF, I'm actually going to hover over and see that there's a style creator button now on the prompt. I'm going to click that, and that brings us to the style creator. And it may not seem like it at first, but you are referencing that original prompt when you're in this menu here. It's just the grid, but this right side corner here is telling us what stage we are at with the style creator. So now at this point, I want to pick things that are going to lean my style to something I would say is more functional for what I want. The initial results that are all coming back here are going to be very random. It's actually going to take time for us to pick which ones make the most sense for us. And maybe on this initial grid, we don't see any that do. One kind of does, but I'm going to go ahead and hit skip grid. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if there's any one of them here that kind of gives us that sort of art style that we are seeing here in terms of the rules of the art, like the line art, the shading, the so on and so forth. So I'm going to open it up in another window here. Let's take that panel that we were like, well, we could use this, but I'm going to leave this open here, and then use the style creator. And we just kind of seek which ones, like this is a little too strong. It's way too much of a silhouette. It'll lean us towards very dark imagery. Lots of these are realism, but I'm thinking this one is a good one to start with. And we'll just kind of cut through here a bit and see. I do like this, but I feel like this could actually, let's pick this one as well. And then this one as well. I'm leaning towards the drawn anime aesthetic for this because that's what we're seeing in this. And then I'm going to hit refine after I've made a couple selections here. And now we are instantly getting us all to a drawn medium here. We're slowly honing in what we want out of this. So, and if anything, I might have gone a little too strong with the anime. But I think we should try to go for things that give us this stronger contrast between black and red. So this one's perfect. I feel like this one's going to get us a little closer to the fantasy one that we had earlier. This one I think is, in terms of the character shapes and stuff, totally makes sense. So let's pick these two. Let's just start off with these two, and then I'll refine again. Okay. So we get like an initial prompt that comes back, and we can always double back and check out our previous results to see what sort of examples it makes for us here. But look at that. The comparison between the first and this one that's currently rendering is already getting us way closer to there. It's just a higher quality version of it. But now I feel like by the time I get about 4 or 5 versions in, I get really happy with it. So let's just keep going. This one I think is good. Let's see here. I'm leaning definitely towards ones that have a lot of like almost like Italian lighting. Like the lighting should be exaggerated. Particularly like the uh why am I blanking on this? Just like the aura light that's around people's heads, just exaggerating that. I'm not going to pick the ones that have realism and that, just because that's going to really murk up our results. But I'm going to go with let's go with this one as well, and shoot, let's just go with that and this one. There's too much
That
realism in
looks
them.
like me.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
That's funny. Let's refine that again. And the key thing is that we are going to end up at a place where we may have gone too far. We can always double back, but look at that. We're there. We're almost there. We're almost
Yeah,
there.
almost.
So I'm going to click this one. I'm going to click this one. Let's also click this one. And even this one. I would say I'll just like how clean
Yeah.
that is. All right.
And how strong the colors are in contrast.
Right. Right. Okay. We even have more of them here. Wow. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and see what our initial results are here, and then we will go ahead and dive back into. Okay, yeah, this it's very very close, but I want to see out of these results here which one gets us more like, oh man, like which one gets us more functional imagery, because like we're definitely seeing a lot of comic patterns and things on this one, but then one step back it's like very cinematic, which
It's
depending on which way we
I
lean.
like I like number three more, just because of the mood
Right,
in there.
right. I'm gonna do one more round just to get to that ideal minimum that Midjourney recommends on here. But let's pick this one. I that one's too strong. I feel like the silhouettes and the minimalism is more like cut out with that. Um, yes, this one. You can see the kind of lighting I'm aiming for is just exaggerated and almost like horror movie esque. I'm even going to say this one as well, and we'll refine that one more time, and then we reach our ideal minimum. And there's again, we could just keep going, we could just keep going with this, but I feel like we're there. So let's go ahead now and see what our results are. I'm going to close out of this because everything has been prompting in the background the entire time I've been doing that. So we can essentially pick what level of our style creator gave us the results that are most functional for us. This is the one that Rhapsody really liked because they had these more cinematic full panels, you know? Uh, this one gave us a lot more comic panels because it's being again, we're running all these with the style reference that is this image that's here. I'm mostly like we there is that bias that we're gonna have to represent and figure out later, but it's fine because look at this. If I now have this sref on there, I'm gonna say let's take the last version that we made, which I feel like that looks like Rhapsody stuff, like in terms of a lonely girl. All these tropes are kind of pulling out of the weeds here. So I'm going to hit use, and then I'm going to get rid of the style reference that we had before. So now we are just going to inspect the sref and the aspect ratio here. So I'm going to hit submit on that. And this
So
will
we're
give it.
using double quotes to give us an empty prompt, which is the best way to just explore the parameters you have selected. In this case, 16 by 9 and the style reference
Yes, yeah.
or style color.
And you can see that in terms of just the sref on its own, it's giving us that high contrast red enveloped space that definitely is the art style we've been aiming for. But if we want to refine or review the one that Rhapsody really liked, the third step in this, we just do the same thing: hit use, get rid of the sref, and then submit. and that just gives us an idea of the raw results. Like, what is working about this? Like, what makes this function so differently? And I think that what's up?
Yeah, the top one,
Yeah,
the
I
one
know.
that's rendering. It
I
just ah,
so this is what I'm
it
gonna
has so
do.
much depth in comparison to the fourth one,
It's
which
yes.
is important.
Right, right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring both of them over to VC Create for you guys, and that way we have two different series that are kind of like at least referencing to the same series. We can kind of give an idea of where we can go with this. But I'm copying both of these slash show. There you go. Now you guys have both. The thing is that in terms of my intention, I feel like this one gets us much closer there for the sake of Western comics, though the ones that we established for this. So I'm gonna keep using this one, but I did post it in VC Create so that you guys can use either one. But what I'm gonna do here is now I'm gonna describe the comic. So let's just say that this is a Wild West graphic novel depicting a Native American inspired girl with long white hair and a feather in it, with a feather in it. And then I can just start to describe what I want to see in this. But I'm gonna, because I said graphic novel, I'm gonna switch the aspect ratio to 4:5. That's the only change I'm gonna make right off the bat, and then we'll just go from there. Um, I find that when we start to mix OREFs in there, you really need to make sure your OREF is compatible art style wise, which we can make. But I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I was aiming for, though, was trying to get this sort of stark, harsh like contrast that's here, and that's doing it. I mean, this is really
Oh
gorgeous.
yeah,
Look at that.
this
Um,
is almost too red. Like all of these are too red for my taste, I feel like, especially in comparison to what we had previously. But that's also not the worst thing. Maybe it actually.
because we can
I would
always
refine this more. But it's an evolution. Like this is a new style system that we are using, or not a new system, but a new way to use a very good system that was always there but less accessible. So I guess it's fine. I
Well,
guess it's fine. Like,
we could go farther with it by restarting the style process on that image that we had, and start to get us something that is a little brighter, right? So let's introduce a little more white. Let's introduce some white into this.
oh yeah, this just deselect the top row. I would just go with the second row, right one, because it has this dirty, grungy contrast between the red and the white, which
Uh,
is exactly what we need.
yeah, yeah. Let's go with these three then. I think that'll work. Refine. We're just trying to brighten it up a little bit. So let's see here. I'm gonna get a new grid. Okay. Um, I'm trying to avoid stuff like this that has a ton of painterly texture to it because that's going to give us the opposite of clean line art for this. But I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to avoid textures like that. But this is good, I
Look
think.
at what we have.
And I'm gonna actually skip this grid again. Okay, there we go. That should get us something a little brighter. Go for these, and yeah. Um, yeah, that's
Is this
good.
cool or is this cool? What do you guys think?
I'm very curious to see how you guys refine this yourselves, especially when it comes to using your own comics and things. Because we're definitely going to be diving into a little bit of ORF stuff, but I mostly am trying to diversify my use of Midjourney as of lately. So let's just refine this one here just to get us that final little white that's there. I think this should be pretty good off of right off the bat. So let's get these in there, and take a look at what we get. Again, the sref is attached, so we basically just need to find the ones that that give us the right combination of bright and dark. Because like look at this, like it's doing it, it's certainly doing it, but it's because we have
Yeah.
the sref attached to it. So now we have to pick the ones that get us the closest. Like this is really cool. I love these. Let's go ahead now, take this one, and we are going to remove the sref and see how the actual just the sref code, the style code, performs on these. I find turning on music on repeat while using the style creator works well. Yes, yeah, I could definitely. The repeat button is abused like crazy on my Google Music. That's for sure. I have like a handful of songs that I use. So I mean, this is already a lot brighter when it comes to the amount of white that's included now. It's not this sort of what we had earlier, which was these more beige tones. It's definitely feels more like a tarot card on that last iteration. So now we are. I feel like we're actually getting really close with this one. So what I'm gonna do is go one step back just to see what this one's like without the sref as well. But I think that either one of these will work well for what we want to do moving forward with this. So let's take a look see.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, these are really cool. This one, it's definitely leading us more towards like folk art, but I love that. Look at that expression. I mean, look at these. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's try to give it that Western prompt again and see if we can get something that gives us at least a little bit more closer to at least the whites in the style. I definitely want to nail that. Like I don't want to just accept the results. I think that going for something like this or this, so look at those wraps. Um,
Yeah. Mm, can I
so
print it?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I want to print and hang it on my wall. This is ah.
All right, let's get that now into VC Create so we can start messing with that. Oh, look at Yona. Yeah, she's so grumpy. Why is she so grumpy? Is she in the is it because she's in the rain? She doesn't like to be in the rain.
There's no chickens. There's a massive lacking of chickens in this image.
Exactly. Oh, look, we got some sword fighting going on here. Nice. Yeah, it is quite common for there to be a little bit of a mistake for when swords change perspective and angles and stuff. You definitely need to re-roll them if you're doing weaponry. But oh, nice, nice. Okay, cool. I see. I troll free is already messing with some stuff here. What is the code that you've? Okay, you've brought that in. Okay, cool. So this is what I'm gonna do. Now that we have this here, let's try messing with a couple of different images that we have from this comic, and use that as a an Omni reference. So we described the Rio character here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab one of these images. Let's go for. I just want a full image of her. So let's go for this one. I'm going to copy this image. Actually, I'm going to use the snipping tool just to focus on her alone so that we don't get the horse in this image. I'm just going to copy just there, like so. And then I am going to now hit use and then paste that image into the bar here, and switch it to an Omni reference because we are describing her and we are using this as the sref. So I'm curious what these give us now that we've gotten so close already with just using the style creator.
I'm gonna do something.
She's gonna do something, guys.
I'm gonna do something, and you're gonna like it.
All right, we got these mood board for comics. Yep. We probably should dive into the mood boards a bit, but I feel like this is something to where I feel like if I add on mood boards on top of that, like I did with the fantasy stuff, people might get lost with that right away. So like I definitely want to go step by step with this. We could make a mood board
Oh yeah.
of this
Oh
comic.
yeah.
My son got the Christmas
Oh,
decor out, and now I have to go decorate with him. Not that I was doing much but spamming the other channel. Well, enjoy today. Take care. And it's immediately super cute. I mean, it is definitely something that we're going to have to balance out certain values, but like when it comes to specifically trying to recreate this sort of harsh art style with this, it's so cool that we're able to do this. So let's try this with the other style reference here real quick, just to see if we get any other benefit from that. I think this is the one we're gonna go with, but I want to see how much farther we can go. It is important to be able to backstep and pick ones that work for you. Oh hey Lux, good to see you. No worries. Thanks for coming. And this is kind of showing also why I think it's important to backstep is because like yes, we got a lot cleaner of the hair and the line art, but it feels more like what Rhapsody was saying, like she wants to hang it on a wall. It feels like wall art, right? But if I went one step back, it was probably just because of a decision that was made based on the characters featured and such. But if we went one step back, look at this. It's like just straight up. It's just straight up the art. It looks so good. Like this is so cute. Look at the bird head in her jacket here. That's awesome. Okay, let's do this then. We're gonna use this one, and now I'm going to say let's just do a multi-panel graphic novel, full page graphic novel set in a Western. Let's just say Western setting, and then I'll go into describing her if I need to, but I'm going to first set the aspect ratio to be more like a page because aspect ratio is pretty important for what we do. It dictates the composition of the image that results. So if you're looking to watch more than draw or otherwise visualize your as just images, then you probably want to have it all be 16:9 so it comes out more cinematic. If you're looking to make comics, graphic novels, that kind of thing, 4:5 is going to far more likely give you something that looks more like a page than having to remake that later. And this is just awesome. Let's go ahead. We're gonna punch into this just a second here. You got to remember there is no horse in this Omni reference. It's just Rio and a couple of panels and text. But now it's become this. We I feel like we're like movie posters. This is it. This is it right here. So
yeah.
let's go ahead and copy this over. I will do a variation of this as well. But I love little Rio there in the middle panel here. So let's copy the job ID and bring that into VC Create for you guys. Oh wow, there's some cool stuff to check out. I might ask Rhapsody to dig through the history as well and see which ones she really likes from the entire community here. Just because I feel like that's a fun way to hand it off. But I want to check out the
Yeah.
different variations that we have here first. She's so cute in this one. Let's see here. Okay, the variations are all good, but it is something that I feel like I would want to mess with this myself until I honed in the exact panel that I want. But look at the fact that we're able to make these graphic novel panels like this is just amazing. Let's go ahead and put her in a scene now. I do like the results of these Rios because they give us something that I feel like we could use as an Omni reference that is now compatible with this. So let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to take this image right here. I'm going to upscale it. I'll do 3 creatives and 1 subtle. Creative can oftentimes change a lot of stuff, so I tend to run a couple creative upscales at the same time. Let's check out which ones are our favorite, and then we'll use that as the Omni reference to start telling, or maybe even continuing, the story that's here. The We might want to even do one more style creator run to bring in some of these gray tones back, but I feel like that at least for getting us somewhere today, this is more than enough. These are
Yeah,
very
this
cute,
is
right, Enid?
just I started creating both sref codes together, which is basically the next step. If you have multiple that you like and then you want to mix, you can just put the numbers behind each other. And I just love the results.
Look at that. That is awesome. And you're getting us so close to there at this point. Whoa. Yeah, I'll definitely ask you to dive into these wraps. But let's go ahead and take some of our like this. There's some really good Rios in here. Actually, we could definitely take one of these instead of what I'm leaning on entirely. But I'm going to go ahead and take from our. Let's see which one I like the most out of these. Oh, it's still rendering on some of them. I think this one, this top one up here, is definitely the cutest for me. Um, I'll also bring that into VC Create. But I feel like I'm gonna pick one of the ones from the community here because there's some insane ones already. Oh wow.
I have to point out the work that is I Trophy is doing because he's trying prompts from the second part of Beneath the Open Sky, which he made basically based on the first iteration, and his results are also crazy good.
Yeah, the quad has a whole just walked into town story of it, right? And that's literally what happens in the comic too. Oh, look at the westerns. Yes. Okay, awesome. I'm loving all the video stuff. We're gonna dive into all that here in a minute. But let's grab one of these Rios here because I'm loving this. Let's. She's definitely older, by the way. She's definitely older
Yeah.
in these. But I feel like this seems like
But she was supposed to be. She was supposed to be. Back when we had the Western episode and we started this, I only had like references from young Ryo, but in this story, she was supposed to be grown up and aged quite a bit because she's basically abused and influenced by demonic powers. Like this is a Western story mixed with a fantasy twist. Um, and yeah, so I'm loving this. Making her older is not an issue.
This is really cool. Like Enid pointed this one out earlier. Added part 1 and 2 into a mood board and testing the results. Yes, that was going to be my next step as well. So I'll probably end up just focusing on whichever one you do. I troll for you. But I did a quick variation subtle on this one to see if I could get a slightly different or better facial reaction or just face out of her on this one. And I think the second one's good. It's just there was a bit of a weird thing on her shoulder on the earlier version of it. So, and you could see how by combining them, you can veer off very easily, but it's still gorgeous. Like you definitely take all these hints of what we had worked on. This second one here, I love.
I
Like
trophy you did put all the previous comics into a mood board and just added that to the mood board list used for these.
right, right, and I will ask you to dive into that here in a minute with everyone else's creations here, but just to get this started here, fun video stuff going on here. Um, what I want to do is I want to take this image that we have here of. Oops, nope, I copied the wrong thing. Let me grab that. This one here. I want to take her here. And then I want to also copy um, the code that Enid shared earlier, like the combination that Enid was working on. And then we'll just slap them all together here because you can see that she has this sref code with this oref going on of her character, which is awesome, awesome, of course. But I'm very curious what happens if we use a omni reference that is in a matching art style, right? Like it incorporates all those reds and whatnot. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this in Discord instead of the website. So what I've done is I've pasted the image into the Discord feed, which lets me get a URL for it by right clicking on it, hit copy image URL. and I'm simply just going to replace the Omni reference that Enid used for her character with Raps's here. So I will go ahead and hit reroll on this, and then you can see the URL here. That's the one we're replacing. So I'm going to paste that in here, and she's using an Omni weight of 70, so allowing a lot of flexibility in the results based on the reference given. If your Omni reference is too high, you'll know right away because all the results kind of look like they're the same image but slightly twisted in different ways. That's when you know you've gone too high with Omni weight. Um, but let's see what we get off of this here, because I'm using her prompt, the multi-panel full-page graphic novel fantasy game style setting, and we'll see what we get off of this. Because with Enid's character, it's very cute. I love where she's going with this too. Are you using which profile is this, Enid? The 5VPIQRI? I'm curious. 70 seems to keep the character but allow for different poses. Yours? It's just yours. V7 current, very cool. Yeah, and I think the fantasy ones would work well with this one too. I'm sure you've messed with that in the past already. But awesome. We immediately get us into more movie posters and stuff. Graphic novel can sometimes make, like, it's best to kind of work on a singular image than trying to get it to do a bunch of comic panels like what we used to do in version 6 and stuff. So like what I would do here is say, now let's give a setting for this character here. Let's do Native American girl with long white hair and feather in hair. Let's give her something to do. So let's say that she is uh, cutting down a saguaro. I have to Google how to spell that. Saguaro tree cigar. It's saguaro. Oh, there you go. All right, all right, and cutting down. I hung out under one of these back when I did van dwelling. I was hanging out under one of these massive, utterly massive cacti, and my partner was a bit drunk at night, and she saw this cat, and she goes, "Oh, it's someone's lost cat. It's so," and she really wanted to get out of the bus in order to save this cat, and I was like, "No, honey, that's a bobcat. That is a wild animal. I do not open the door. Don't, please don't." And thank God she didn't. But she 100% saw a cat on top of a cactus and thought that it was like a desperate house cat that got loose. And we were in the middle of the desert. We were literally in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, there's no way that was a house cat.
One
But
decision in a different way would mean they wouldn't be here today.
yeah.
That
Wait.
also right. Super proud.
A map of, and I know this is not related to our stream here, but it's just really funny to me. A map of areas around Warrington, England, with pins showing
Oh
locations
yeah.
of commercial properties for sale.
Okay, guys, you know what to do. We take the prompt that we got here from NDS, we take it, and we just apply all of our style codes and stuff onto it.
Yeah, we'll see how weird it gets. So I'm gonna re-roll this. I'm gonna apply the sref, and then I'm gonna go into my Midjourney account, and yeah, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll grab my srefs, and we'll just see how silly this is. Desperate house cat. That kind of leads me to think the real house cat's a blank. There you go. But all right, I'm gonna take the style reference that I made for the fantasy series and also paste that into there. And let's do one more. Let's do one more. Why not? I will scroll on down here, and I won't take any mood boards. I just want to use the sref codes for this. Uh, yeah, let's just go with those two. I'll go with those two. It's just kind of a silly thing we're doing here anyway. Submit that. I'm curious. I'm curious what our map icons look like with profile codes applied. Oh,
Ooh.
Rhapsody looks like a Command and Conquer game map or something. Like I feel like I'm in
Yeah,
fake communism. Uh,
yeah. Or select your next mission.
yes, exactly. Fungi Mancer. Fungi Mancer. Knocking it out of the park with this. Oh my god.
Oh
Um, the three
wow.
faces on the top here, that is insane. What are you using to
Yeah.
that? Oh yeah, that'll do
What?
it. That'll do it. Using this as an image prompt. An image prompt is going to overlay the image and try to like basically recreate the composition of that image. So like the fact there are multiple faces that come up here is entirely predictable because of that. That is awesome. Normally it would be quite hard to get Midjourney to make something like that without an image prompt. So yeah, I love this. Definitely going into the mood board. I feel like that
Yeah,
is
that.
insane. I love
Wow.
the yeah, the line art that's inside of the white that's here. This is
The white?
awesome.
Yes, everything is painterly, but the whites have like this drawn style to it, and it's insane. It's such strong contrast. For me, at least, it evokes so many feelings seeing this contrast, not only in the colors but also in the drawing style. It has kind of something deceiving because you're always looking at the white parts, right? If you're staring at this, you're looking at all the whites because they are so strong. But the real message is hidden in the reds and the darks. Like you could think this is a good character if everything would be white. Like if you invert the colors,
Yeah.
he would be bright character was like, but this contrast, ooh,
Yeah, it
it
really
just
does it.
stings.
Yeah, it's good. It makes me
This
feel
is
like you.
dangerous.
Well, yeah, like those anglerfish, how they have like a really pretty thing, like a bright light that attracts the
Yeah.
fish and they can attack it. This kind of reminds me of that, where the white that's painting all around his head is meant to distract you from how horrifying the rest of it is. You know what I mean? Like it's this gorgeous, like elk god sort of thing, but then it's in fact this horribly mangled monster underneath. Yeah, I like it. It. I think this is awesome. I love it. Um,
Alistair just knocked it out of the park with a map.
Hold on.
I'm just saying it. It's genius. There,
This
this
one?
one. Yes. Yes.
All the all-seeing eyes of big tech putting their spots on everywhere. There you go. Biblically accurate map. Yes. Yes, exactly. Love that. And yeah, you can see just how silly it is when you start mixing sref codes and how much it can get you somewhere that that you know it's in a completely different space than it originally was. So, and I'm seeing here the battle scenes that you have in the graphic novel format. Definitely interesting. I wish we could expand on these in different ways, where we could like take, say, like the fourth one here and keep going with it. But that's really where Midjourney Video comes in my opinion. But I'm also seeing some really great stuff from my Troll for You, combining these SRFs and using this one's not using the profile code, but I'll definitely be diving into that as well. Um, the Phantasma Noodle Western Noodle. Yeah, look
Look
at
at that
that.
horse. Look at that horse.
Yes,
It's so angry.
it's so
And the
angry.
other horses next to it are just so normal.
Yes,
Like,
love
what?
it. Yeah, and this is again combining the SREFs and the Phantasma mood board, so it really just shows you the value of the work that we've put into these profiles. They're really just coming out here. I love this Enid, I really do. I do have a little bit of trouble understanding some of the shapes that came out for this dragon and stuff here, but that's partly like why I lean so much towards the mood boards, because they, or not the mood boards, but the profiles and stuff, because it really gets us this sort of like clean defined line art, and that's something that I feel like can be easily lost. Yes, a horse, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, horse. Love that. But
My
there we
horse.
go. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Nixie's knocking it out of the park with this most recent one. Let me see what their OREF is here. Yes, it's using this one. Nice. And there you go. I mean, that's the art style.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You nailed
It's
it.
just,
You friggin'
it's
nailed it,
like,
Nixie.
that's the art style just developed further. Like, it's still kind of inverted. I still would love the backgrounds to be more whitish, like the sky, for example.
Mm.
but it's so good.
I think this is the right balance to make it so that the audience's eye line focuses on, because that's
The
the powerful thing
character.
about this. If it did have a white or bright sky, the eye line would be split into the upper half of the image. When really it's all about her. It's all about the
Yeah.
like the spaces that she's immediately occupying. So like in a video game where they have like a fog where you're not allowed to see past it and stuff. The fog for this is red. It's just everything that's nearby her is being encapsulated in white. But then, as soon as the distance of the logic of depth gets applied, it just gets consumed by the red. And that's the rules that we've established with the style creator and also just all your all's hard work. This is awesome. I'm going to use this image permanently. I think this is it. This nails it for me. Claps for Nixie for getting this one done, because this is
Oh yeah.
awesome.
That's
So I'm gonna go ahead and upscale these, and then we will bring this into I feel like
Steve.
what this is originally going to do, like what we're gonna do with this is just gonna be all right. This is the starting point. This is where we're bouncing off everything. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do by combining SREFs and all that, and we're going to dive into everything that we've done prior to this as well. But now that we have this, I can basically say, all right, this is our new our SREF, our comic, our what's establishing the art style for this. We now have in two different ways. We have an image that we can refer to, and we have the code that we can refer to. So let's just combine those two, and see where it takes us. Yeah, and feel free to keep going with that. I'm so curious to see what you guys end up re-rolling. Oh, hey, Hail Garden. We're digging into the style creator today. We have already done one. I started off with today, which was based off of our fantasy stuff, but it's a way to incorporate the mood boards within the style creator, so that you don't necessarily have to be limited to the images that are inside the mood board when it comes to the results. So like this is just awesome. I love how just keep going, Raps. But especially in a comic, I think I agree. I like Rhapsody would rather have the white sky, but I see your point, especially if we're making a comic and making sequences of images. How do we tell a story with the pictures? So
Yeah.
it really just comes down to what the focus is, who the subject is. Like white is a very strong commanding thing for the audience's eye line. I think that I would much rather have it be that she feels like kind of in an island of a space wherever it's around her, as opposed to the entire scene has a deep focus to it where we could see everything in detail. But let's do this. Let's do this. We are going to take this image here. We are going to copy the address for it. I am going to now make one last void prompt with this, and then I'm gonna, if it's all right with you, Reps, I'm gonna hand it over to you so you can dive back into some of the other stuff that people have made, or if you have a different direction you want to go in, you're welcome to do that. I just figured that would be a fun way to hand it off.
Yeah, we can go through some stuff if I find words. Just go and look at what everybody has made.
Right.
And then also look at mood boards for a second.
Yeah, for sure. That would be great. And what I'm going to do is hit slash imagine here. I have the image as a link. I'm going to use that as the style reference, but I'm also going to apply the SREF code that we made today, and then do a void prompt of this, but now as 69, because we've established the graphic novel, like look with the, like making sure all that matches. But now we are going to we're going to effectively try to turn it into a cinematic. I'm just going to use void prompts for this, but we're basically combining the two and seeing how these two perform with each other. Oh, did it not copy the SREF code? I guess not. Let me copy that. So we're going to do one with the code and one without, I guess. Copy that. Okay, that's looking good. Let's now re-roll this and add the SREF code. That's going to help limit the results to be always more in line. But this is but just the SREF image. It does so much. But it is something that we can now compare and contrast what the benefits of this sref image are. We had a lot of trouble with deciphering what was better. Is it a code or is it an image to reference? But really, what it boils down to is that you have a lot more potential with a code, but you have a lot more direction with an image, right? And this is cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have you dig into that, Raps. But let's go ahead and now we can see one with the just the sref. Wait, why is the code not being applied? Why are these codes not being applied? Hold on. Let me go in the Midjourney's website real quick, and I'm just going to look at it from there. Okay, so I'm going to apply the code to this one. There you go. Huh. Yeah, for some reason on the Discord, it was not letting me apply the code to that prompt on a reroll. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it just kept coming back as if I didn't enter the sref code in there. Interesting. All right. Let's see what we get off of combining these two now. So you can see that we definitely lose a little bit of the depth that's in the image, because I feel like the sref is quite flat with all the red, but it is definitely focusing on trying to make these three key color shape languages like always preserved. So now I'm going to try getting rid of the sref, and we give all of our options here on how we can use this image here. So that's at least that's it for this Western at the start here. I think that based on what I've learned from these is that when it comes to like basically defining the rules of the art, I think Style Creator's better at doing that. But when it comes to making sure that it stays within a certain like theming or aesthetic or whatever, when it comes to the actual context of what you're working on, an image is much better for that. So everything here just feels a lot more story driven, a lot more fantasy in a way. But it is something that I feel like that if we just balance these three, we'll be able to make this work. So nice, awesome. If there's any questions, feel free to use VC Text and you can ask, and we can start to dive into any sort of troubleshooting you guys might have, especially if you do have a project in mind. There is something called the show after the show, which is when this stream is done, a little after 6, you can join our server and hop on the voice chat and be able to chat with us directly. It's a really great way to show off your projects, but also to just chat with us as a big voice chat group. It's a really fun way to participate. I hope you guys do. And I'm just seeing some really cool stuff from Nixie already. I'm gonna hand it off to you, Raps. Is that all right?
That is all right. I just need a second to switch to my screen cap here and not blast everybody. Let me just have a thing. I'm gonna just actually open Discord in my browser. That should be fine. Yeah, we are in VC Create. There is so many cool things happening right now. Like if I just oh my god, who made this? Lolo Soon. Samurai Jack Nicholson. Okay, just using all the codes. This almost has like Mulan vibes to me. Like that's so cool how the faces are drawn, and yeah, it's like telling a dark story in that universe. What do we have here? Yeah, look at this. This is so cool. It still has, I bet you have used an OREF from my old versions. Yes. So the only reference here, of course, I think when we did this, it was still V6. It must have been V6 when we did this. So the clear lines, the drawing style, it's all a bit grungy. And if you use an Omni reference, it's also going to pick up on these uncertain elements, on this, well, almost broken up cleanliness, if you want to say so. So that's what we're seeing here with the feathers morphing and being kind of weird and stuff, because this really doesn't identify as feathers much. but we also see like the grunges in the background and around the sun or the moon. I would say it's the moon just because of the lighting of well, the trees here. Yes, I'm also gonna call cacti trees for now. Ah, look at this.
Wait, are
This
cactuses
is
not
so
technically
beautiful.
trees? I mean,
I'm
they're.
not sure.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
they're. You know. I recognize that they are not made of bark. But that's a succulent. I know that they're a succulent. Yes, exactly. But does that mean that it's not a tree? Though, like, can a tree also be a succulent? That I just don't know. My mother is a master gardener. I
Oh,
should know this.
oh, yeah, that's what I wanted. Oh, look at this. What's going on here? There's like 100 SREF images into the in this one.
We're seeing just your backdrop at the moment.
Oh, interesting that it did that. Um, wait, 1 second. Technical difficulties. I accidentally pressed a button I shouldn't have pressed. Go to back. Go back here. Boom. There we are. Okay. If I press the full screen button, it apparently also switches my scene. Where was I? Here. There's just a bunch of SREF codes in there. What's all of this? By Lolo soon. I bet it's. Oh, it's Gnome. Interesting. So it's even more phantasmifying, or spell breaking. It's spell breaking the SRF code. That's a new word.
Also, Fungi Master just posted an insane one.
What? Fungi Mancer? Where? What?
The newest in
Okay.
VC Create. Yeah, it's the newest one.
Oh my god. This is Enid. Enid.
That one there.
Fungi Mancer. Fungi Mancer, you just have it with style. Wow. The dragon here talking in his head to make the poison. Him transforming, poisoning the water supplies of the village. That's what I see in here. Something similar. Or making like kind of a berserker potion or whatever. Crazy stuff. Here's also a new map. Also, I bet this is Fungi Mancer. I didn't look. But these are the Crystal Caverns, and he loves that place.
Crystal
Yes.
Caverns as a Google Maps location is hilarious.
Actually, yes. Here's a map. You are here.
Yeah. Here's all the hopping spots over
Yeah.
in Crystal Caverns.
I see this just like you're inside the cave system, and there's just this hole in the wall, and you look inside of it, and there is a map, like a 3D map of the whole place. Cool. So yeah, I love all of these. And that's where we were previously. So let's have a look at mood boards for a second for everybody who's new and doesn't know what mood boards are. Because earlier, if we
Yeah, Troll for You made one for us already. So
yes, like Troll for You made one.
can you give a direct link to the mood board actually?
I have the link.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay,
have
cool,
the
cool,
link.
cool. Sorry.
Show it off. Yes, it's all prepared. I'm prepared, Victor.
Oh my
You know
god.
that.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just searching for a prompt that actually used it. I might just search it up. So here, yeah. So what we see here, I'm actually gonna zoom in a bit so that the text is bigger. What we see here is the --p, which stands for profile, which can either mean that you rated a bunch of images on the website and got a profile code, or it could mean that you have created a mood board, which will induce the general sense, the general feeling of something into the images created. And here we see we have the LMFJNBC, which is the mood board from our general fantasy series. That's why this is all looking more like the fantasy stuff we saw in the beginning. And then we have 4BGHR7S. And I think this is directly the mood board code for what I Troll for You made here. And he just went ahead, created a new mood board. You can find it on the left side on the website under the aesthetics section in the menu. And he just drag and dropped all the images in here. And what this does it's basically analyzing all the things that are in here, gets the general feeling, the general a general sense for how our proportions, how our colors used. And then when you use this profile code, it's applying it. We had our problems in the past because mood boards by itself with version 7 tend to get messy really, really quick. So if I go back over to my organized tab and I'm just going to scroll down somewhere. I'm going to land on something for sure. Let's have a look at this. Now that's only one mood board. Oh, well, going randomly into my library is always an experience. Boop, boop, boop. These are all without mood boards. We just had a stream where we did the mood board galore, where basically posted a code of like 10 or 12 combined mood boards to just make really good stuff, but it's a really good example. Like these should have this, yeah. Like here, we used this to make a video a while ago, and as you can see, I have like a ton of mood boards in here and also style references. And the reason is if we just run mood boards, if we just use them, they tend to get this overly this over detailing that you can see here. Like none of the lines are really closed, and there's a lot of detail in these images. It's just not good for the drawn style that we usually would get with Niji. And yes, I also have mood boards like this, for example, where everything is very similar to what we just created with the red mood boards. But using a mood board together with the style references, like we are doing today, really brings that up to the next level, because a mood board is a general information bucket, right? It holds the feeling, the general feeling of an image. And an sref code, a style reference code, holds the drawing style. But both of these have no direct context, right? They have surrounding information to what you want to make, but they don't have the information about the thing that you want to make. Putting these together allows you for a wide diversity of projects by solidifying the style and the mood. And on top of that, and that's what I did earlier, on top of that, if you then use a character reference or with the Omni reference tool, then you also get the character information, and suddenly we're very, very close to replicating a character in the style, in the mood that we need. So yeah, use mood boards and refine them with the style you like. And then we might just be very happy or very angry, apparently. I just wanted her to finish my sentence, and it did something I didn't expect. So now let's have let's look at stuff that you guys made in between. That is I Troll for You experimenting with silly meme cat girl comic panels with 2 srefs. It's a little bit sad that we cannot really look at these srefs, but what we can do is we can just take the codes, prompt them, dash dash sref, do our double dashes. And now we have these 2 codes, and we could just press return and run them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the thing again because I hit the wrong button. dash dash sref. I'm gonna do curly brackets around the prompt. And this allows me to do multi-prompt, well, not multi-prompting, but it runs both of these individually. I forgot the name of the feature right now. So basically, if you do curly brackets, it's going to run both prompts at the same time. And it's also separating them. So this is how you can test a lot of different variations. You can run, for example, 1,000, or not 1,000, maybe don't do 1,000, do maybe 5 or 10 different expressions. Like I want make an image of characters having a sad, happy, tired, facial expression or whatever, and it will just run of all of these together. And by the way, another feature, every single week in the last few weeks, I have showed off some cool features of the website. Another feature is hidden in the prompt bar together with using the arrow keys on your keyboard. Did you know that when you write something, Midjourney is going to remember what your last prompts were? And it's not only going to remember what you see in the create or organize panel, it's going to remember what you actually sent. So if I press up on my keyboard here, it's going to return to my last written prompt, and I can just repeat this again and again. And this way I can just create more of these multiple input prompts. And if I go up multiple times, it's going to go through my whole history. So it's basically working like a console window that you would usually see if you open a console on your PC. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now, looking at these style references, we see a very, that's Western. That's like this old movie Western style together, mixed together with kind of a very clean anime style. And the output we get from both of these is what we just see here, which is very interesting. I wouldn't expect that. Basically, oh, it's because there's also 2 profiles in there, and these 2 profiles probably influence it a lot. I don't know what these profiles are. I don't remember these codes specifically, but I guess they are very anime cat girly like. So yeah, I don't know what to do anymore, Victor. Besides going through this and just looking at the amazing, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. I mean, it's a lot of ogling. I feel like when it comes to this stage, but we need to. We need to.
I guess. I guess what we could talk about is how to is a question that Legal Beagle asked earlier, is how to tell stories with these individual images that we make. I mean, having the style locked down, having the general mood locked down is one part. Then you need, of course, subjects. That's the character creation part about this that we usually teach on this channel, on this event pretty regularly. So I'm not going to go over this again, but I'm gonna plug Victor's YouTube channel, who has a lot of recordings of our previous sessions in there, so you can just go to the YouTube and just watch back how we create characters in different ways and styles and modify them and edit them and create character turnarounds and all of that stuff. But then you also need, well, to combine multiple images to basically tell a story. And there is multiple ways of doing this, of course. But I think this is the perfect time to hand it back over to Victor, because he's a master comic maker and storyteller.
Well, thank you.
I'm here for the movies. I'm here for making the animations and stuff, which is also his forte. Don't understand me wrong. Like, I never worked professionally in like Hollywood like he did. But yeah.
It's all good. It's all no.
I'm just gonna throw it into your lap now.
No, it's all good. Let me. I'll take over from here. Go ahead and send those explosions over. Thank you. Yep. Awesome.
Ooh.
All right. Boom, boom. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Raps. That was really good. I really needed the when it comes to mood boards particularly. I think that can be either overlooked or quickly dismissed because the results are not what people expect them to be or whatever. But the style creator, I feel like, is getting us there way faster. But combining those two is really like how you just can virtually guarantee the results you get out of Midjourney. So you could tell just based on what everyone's doing here that it's giving us stuff that is exactly like so in line with the Western comic specifically. I love that. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tell a story with one of these images. I'm very tempted to clean up this because this is a direct continuation of a comic that we had already made, a comic that I will include on our ongoing page eventually. But this one features Gnome and a blue dragon named Larry. So if I go ahead and go to spellbroke.com, which is our website that we are using for the fantasy series, it will take you to the initial comics that we have produced. You think you could pay me with gold? Is what Fungi Mancer just sent in here. I love that. I love this
Oh
character.
my god.
That's
Yes.
awesome. That's awesome. Yes, and we'll be able to take frames from that and turn them into individual panels or whatever we want to do with it. I take gold. I take gold. You
I
don't.
have the feeling.
You have too much gold. I'll take your gold.
I have the feeling our next months are going to be glorious. Like this is another piece that was missing in the puzzle for the last few months.
Yes, yes. Let me go ahead and now go to the editor. And in fact, I'll go to create and get the most recent upscale that I have of this. And we need to also compare it with the comic that we produced. So it's the second half of this. There's two trailers in this. We have the first part of one that I did not finish, and then the second trailer, which is the one this one's based off of. So I want to make sure the dragon looks a little more in line with the dragon that's featured in this comic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have this open in another window. And I'm going to use the Midjourney editor to hone in the character design for the dragon here. So I'm going to hit edit on here, and that will bring us immediately to the Midjourney editor. And I'm just looking out for key differences. The dragon doesn't actually have horns, so we're gonna get rid of these. And he doesn't have these little like frayed side fin I don't know what those would be called exactly, but I'm just gonna go get rid of these feathers. It looks like he almost has like a like straw in his mouth, like he's gonna tell us like an old folk tale. So I'm gonna get rid of that too, just by drawing over with the erase tool. And what's really cool about this is that it preserved, based on the prompt that Fungi Mancer had written here about the a fishing rod with an apple hanging on the fishing line. You could see the fishing line, like you could see that it fully rendered that out. That's super cool. I'm just getting rid of the straw in the mouth though, and a little bit from the back here of the dragon's neck. And we're going to go with this just as is first. But then what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to include an image for it to reference to go, oh, okay, no, that's what the dragon actually looks like. Okay. So we'll see what it does off of this initial just basically submit and roll with it kind of edit. And then we'll give it a little more direction if it needs it. It's a very simplified dragon on purpose. I didn't want to do some big, like ram horn dragon for this. So we'll see. We'll see what sort of variations we can get off of just using the editor here. And I'm not surprised that a bunch of them. In fact, this one's already really close. Let's take one more look at the art here. Let's see this one here. I'm just going to load it up for you guys so you can see it here. But you see that it has almost like a viper or snake-like face that's here. Very aggressive. So we want to make sure that that's represented in here. Let's go for... He has eyebrows here, so let's get rid of those eyebrows. The ears make sense. I just need to get rid of the horn elements of them. There we go. And I think this is pretty good. I'm just going to get rid of this on the forehead. And then, does he have anything on the beard? No. Let's get rid of that. And that's fine. I'm going to leave the horns on the back of the neck. We don't really see the back of the neck of the dragon in the comics, so I'm going to go ahead and hit submit on this. It's not gold, it's pyrite, which is commonly known as fool's gold. Ooh. I'm going to see if it's
Again, our images are getting so good that the image filter detects third-party content.
yeah. Let's go ahead and just get rid of these little eyebrows here. It's in fact because there's eyebrows on the other side of the face too that it's seeing, but we're so close to this already. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit on that. Just these little teeny edits. You can do most of your decisions visually without having to necessarily correct the prompt unless you're doing a dramatic change. All right, we're almost done here. I've got to cut it short. Important potato meeting starting tomorrow. All right, potato propagator, you have a good one. Take care.
Yeah.
Keep your sweet potatoes. I don't know.
Growing.
Yeah, just keep them growing through winter. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Later, dude. Okay. All right. So out of these ones here, I'm gonna pick the one with the eyebrow. Yeah. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Cool. This works for me.
He looks mean though.
He's a mean looking dragon. Like it's a look at the original.
Yeah.
He's a mean looking
Yeah.
dragon.
Like, yeah, but he also looked very cute. But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's the same thing that always happens when we find a new thing that upgrades our previous workflows, and that is something you have to get accustomed with when you're working with AI and stuff, is that probably the thing you're doing now is not going to be what you're doing in a few months. Things are getting better, but they are also becoming different in the path of continuing to work on stuff. So the decision always is like, is this really good enough now so I can make something with it? And then you have to stick to the technology where you are right now, or are you going to develop it further? And if you're going to develop it further, just be fine with it changing. That's part of the process, really, for this type of medium.
Yeah, and it really is a medium. I that gets dismissed a lot whenever I bring it up, but it is important to recognize, in my opinion, that AI is evolving towards its own medium. It is becoming it. We want this to be a thing. We want this to be its own
Yeah.
medium because it means that it's no longer invading the existing mediums that are out there. Right? It's become its own thing. People are consuming this sort of content because it's its own thing. It's not like on television. It's not on social media. It is its own space. So when we see world models that expand our ability to explore these AI images beyond just images and video, I feel like that will become much more tangible and obvious. Right now, it's super, amorphous, and who knows what the world's going to look like here in the next couple of years. But when it comes to particularly the arts and entertainment and all that stuff, there is a lot that we can do just with this. With just these images that we're able to produce here, and then embellish on them as we develop the story. So like basically I try to incorporate nonlinear storytelling as much as I can inside of our server because it means that everyone can just tell the story they want to tell, and if anyone wants to help out or work on it, they just dive into it. They don't they're not
Yeah.
like given a job, you know. It's just it's all passion. It's just straight passion all the way through. But when it comes to like trying to get like concrete projects done, it can be tough if your scope is really big. So it's important to also think small. Like don't try to make an 80-90 page graphic novel. Just make a comic. Just make a one or two panel joke and develop from there over time, because it is going to be a lot more gratifying for you. It'll lead to a lot less burnout from a creative perspective, by just pumping out a bunch of because it's not low effort. It's very much a practice. You're very much in working these images constantly and getting better every time you do. So now that I have this image cleaned up here, which is very important for me that the images are as clean as I want them to be for video, we can now start to direct this image in a way that gets us more information to start telling a story. Particularly, where does this go? Why is she gasping? Like, why are they parked next to this dragon? So on and so forth. We can do all that right now and try to establish like what's happening in this space using Midjourney Video. There's one little thing that I know that I'm gonna hate myself if I don't correct it now. Again, this is the beauty of being able to just edit things on the fly. There's this weird sort of light post thing, which I feel like will end up making it weirdly modern in a way because it sees that shape and goes, "Oh, that's a light post." And just let's get rid of that. I'm just gonna submit this really quick, just so I have a nice little edit there. Oh wait, I have to go into the editor. My bad. Editor, grab this, cut that out, boom, submit. We'll see how that goes. Once, and then we'll render video, and we're basically. I'm open to hear it from you guys. In terms of what you want her reacting to this, I feel like this is a moment where she's like, "We're down to the last apple," and Larry in the comic,
Yeah.
Larry's entirely motivated by apples.
He's
He,
looking at it
He's
already.
looking exactly. As soon as they give him that apple, they don't know what Larry is going to do. Is essentially what I'm kind of envisioning here. Um,
He's a vegetarian dragon.
yeah, but he's still got some real sharp chompers on him. The let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and grab our final image here. I think it was back in the editor now. I just want to make sure we get rid of that little doohickey on the bottom left, and we have. Oh, my
Apples
browser
are
froze. Just a second.
apples are just so funny to me right now. Like I play a lot of pen and paper, and we have one round that was cursed with apples from the start. Like the first time somebody in the round ate an apple, basically the world we were in broke apart. And since then, every time anybody in our story eats an apple, some kind of weird or bad event happens. So since then, I'm looking at apples and like media in a completely different way. Like every time I see somebody eat an apple on television, I'm like, yeah, something bad's gonna happen.
That's funny. And I could go into an editor and actually like brighten the red of the apple, for example. Right now it's kind of orange, right? But we'll make it work. We'll make this work. Ryuk, yeah, yeah. Oh, Death Note. Okay. All right. So we have this image now cleaned up proper. I am going to. I'm basically just going to run this with animate manually, and we're going to start to expand on what this moment is. So let's first try to get some references of this location and of what these characters are doing. So maybe we want to zoom out a little bit and see our create an establishing shot of this. Remember, the premise I'm going for is they are on the last apple. That's it. I'm keep it as short as simple as possible in order to get something done, honestly. So we're going to say that let's zoom out, see what our space looks like, and describe it if it doesn't fit. Like we might need to say that this is a dragon again. We might not. We'll see what happens. But we're going to do a slow zoom out, revealing the dragon impatiently waiting to eat the apple in her hand. She is holding a fishing rod with the apple attached to it. Let's see if it's able to understand all that. It might not. We'll see. But the slow zoom out's the most important part of this video prompt because it means that I could start to see this scene, start to see this location. The I was at the Pompidou, by the way, museum in Paris when I was a teenager, and I went to see all of this guy's art. Just love it. I love the absurdism of that. It would be really funny to make a fantasy version of the Pompidou. Yeah, yeah. I love the Pompidou. It's such a fascinating building. All the utilities are on the exterior of the building, including the escalators. So like when you're going up into the building, it's you basically see all the innards of the building as you go up it. I highly recommend going to that museum. Um, Even though I am rendering this in turbo mode and stuff, it still takes longer to do video than it does images. So we're gonna, while this is rendering here, I'll dive us back into VC Create and check out some of the stuff that you guys have been up to. Because there's so much of it here. Oh my god! I mean, you guys and your frickin' angel cryptid animals is just insane. Like I love this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, guys, I'm gonna post you the alien mood board that we made a while ago.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one to
I want
combine.
to, yeah, I want to see some stuff with the alien mood board.
What epic anime moment's about to happen here? This is insane, actually. I love the faces. Oh my god. I feel like every villain this character has interacted with is in this image. Like this is the poster for the series, right? Like yeah, this the boss rush. Yeah, there you go. This is so cool though. I'm definitely upscaling these. But yeah, I'm loving the graphic novels. Obviously, I'm loving all the fantasy stuff that you guys have been going with because the way that it does the character art just feels like we have everything we had before in terms of the Niji 6 stuff. Look at that. I mean, it tells a story to me. This guy loves his rocks. He's all into rocks. That's what he's all about. It's about these rocks.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
he's. We are looking for like one integral part into the fantasy story is definitely looking at rocks and defining their value. So this is a great one.
yeah, I'm gonna say that that he is a I could almost see it like being like he's trying to QVC sell you these rocks, right? Like look at all my rocks, showing off his rock collection. And I'm not going to say anything modern. I'm not going to say that this is a television show or anything like that because it's far more likely to start introducing artifacts of realism that are, not fantasy, not anime or anything like that. So we're going to say that he's just showing off his rock collection with abundant enthusiasm. Okay? And we'll render that one as video. It's Pawn Stars, but it's Rock Stars. Yes.
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 That's good. That's good. All right, let's keep going up and animating some more. Again, guys, if you are new here, you could post inside of VC Create, and we'll run videos for you of anything that you prompt here. I do look for 16:9 aspect ratios when we run videos, though, because I want to be able to cut them later. But there is some really cool stuff right now, especially all the Fungi Mancer Crystal stuff is just so neat. Um, neat. Yeah, I already upskilled that one. Cool. And we got Rock Guy doing his rock thing. We have a dragon hatching out of an egg here, which is pretty cool. Using that kind of like I say like that's almost like a desolate moon aesthetic from either a Trollfreeber or Fungi Mancer. I forgot which one. But the all that purple and darkness that you guys have in those are really cool. She's a credit card swiper. What? Oh god. Okay. I sometimes the random little bits of modernism are so cute to me. Okay, you already hit animate low on this one. I am also going to hit animate but animate high on this. Let's see how our rendering is going. Okay. All right. So let's take a look here. I'm going to look at the first one. It looks like it didn't understand that it's a fantasy village based on my initial interpretation of this. They are that's pretty funny that it's that the dragon has the apple coming out of his mouth on a string. It's like a yo-yo. But let's go ahead and now learn from this. Oh, that's very close. Very close. She's kind of funny in how she's standing there. In fact, this teaches me something. Her height doesn't really make sense for the size of the dragon, right? Like she should either be riding this dragon or she should be much lower in this image. And we can fix that actually. But it is something to learn from because it is kind of misunderstanding. If I said that she's also on an apple box, that might work. So like I'll say this here, okay. And I just add to the front of this prompt that they are in the middle of a fantasy village or medieval village. And then I also want to describe let's see here, that she is standing on an apple box. Just to give us an emphasis of, if you don't know what an apple box is, by the way, it's in Hollywood that they make you stand on these little boxes to make characters stand the same height. So like, just like in movies when two characters kiss, they almost always are eye to eye, right? Like they are almost always the same height at that moment, and it's because usually the one of them is standing on an apple box, and they just come in various heights. It's just what they're known as. Obviously, their history is that they once were real apple boxes, but now they're just wooden boxes that can support the weight of a person. But that is the industry term for them. So it is kind of funny that we're picking up apples specifically for this. But basically, what I did here is I asked it to zoom out to show us a grander view of hopefully a village and change where she's standing here. And I'm going to go another step farther here and take that original edit that we did, and I'm going to adjust for that error that we saw inside of this result. So I will do that pretty easily using the layers function here. We are basically going to copy this image onto itself to do this. So I will first take that original image. I'll set it just as anything, an image prompt, doesn't matter. I just need to physically copy the URL to the image itself. I'll go into the editor again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to layers and hit add, and then add from URL. And you'll notice that it's actually two of the same image now that have been that are now on top of each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smart select to grab only her in this image. I have to click a couple times to see if it's able to understand all these shapes. See if it's able to get us the fishing rod as well. I'm curious if it will. It did! Yay! It didn't understand the string, but that's fine because I'm going to now manually paint in the string and worry about that later. So we're going to hit erase background, but we need to include this selection here. So let's go ahead and hit erase background. And you'll notice it's like, oh, I didn't do anything. You did do something. It's just Gnome is by herself on a separate layer here. So you can't really see it unless you zoom in really tight on this image here, but only Gnome is highlighted here. But I do need to add back the little bit of our hat that was missing. So I'll go into restore and just restore a little bit of hat. You don't see anything to represent this, but it's there. Okay. Oops. Okay, yeah. I'll just go back. Paint. Hit the back button by accident. Restore and just select her hat here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to physically move her to a different spot. So I'm on the second layer. I'll go to move, and now you'll see all the work that I just did. See? She's now isolated from this image. Okay? So I just stretch my canvas down, drag her down to where I want her to be in this image, which for a gnome makes a lot more sense that she is way down here rather than way up here. And now inside the lower layer, the original image, I'm going to go to erase, go to paint, erase. And now I will go through and erase her entirely from this image. Oops, I have to make sure I'm on the right layer. Layer 2. So now I will just erase. Oh, come on. What are you doing? Layer 2. Erase. There we go. All right. For some reason, I clicked that 3 times and it didn't do it, but now it did it. All right. Click layer 2. I am going to select everything from her. I could have used the smart select from earlier, but since we're overlapping things already, I'm just going to go ahead and just do this by hand really quick. Increase my brush size to do this nice and fast. There we go. And the last thing we want to do is we want to refine that layer on top. You'll notice that there's some parts of her that are missing, some parts that are frayed, so on and so forth. We will use the restore tool now, and we are basically just going to restore the edges of her first. Just the edges of her art. Oops. We refine the edges first, and then we'll clean up the fine-tuned like little bits of white and the missing parts that are, the parts that get added from from what we're doing here. So let's just get in here, clean up just the little bits of the fingers and things. Midjourney does a really good job fixing this stuff up if you do leave it as an alpha channel, like you see how it has these checker boxes here. If you leave that as an alpha channel, it'll do a really good job patching this up. But we want to make sure that we don't miss any details from Gnome here, like the outlines on her shirt, on her ears, things like that. You notice they start to reappear when I restore them like this. It is really handy to have the translucent version of it that we can see through. But if I go back to erase, that'll disappear. Boop. Which is perfect because now I can bring my brush down really, really low. And I can just highlight select all these little bits of white that are here to finish the composite. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this strong white highlight that's here that I enabled earlier. But basically the reason why I'm doing this by hand is that I don't want to lose anything that's important. And to me, Gnome's ears, her hat, all that stuff is super important to make sure that we maintain this character here. So I will just come in and finish removing all this white. I'm just using a mouse for this, but you can even use a pen. Like you could use a tablet to do this, and it will go even faster. I would pull out the tablet now, but it would just take more time for me to drag that window down than to just remove the white with the mouse here. So let's just do this. Take out little bits here, and that's it. I got rid of some of the highlights, but that's fine. Now we have her fully represented here. I could go in and restore the string as well that's here, but I'm just gonna do that. I feel like I can do that in post, so I'm not really too worried about that. But we have it all here, so now I'm just going to submit this because it's the same prompt. It's the exact same image conceptually, right? But now we have given it new composition with these two layers. So now I'm just gonna hit submit, and as soon as you hit submit, what's going to happen is it tries to fill in all of that alpha channel with context that makes sense based on the prompt you have given. And it'll give a blurred version of the alpha channel, or sorry, the what's been hidden under the erasure. But it is amazing how well this works at just patching things, creating continuity, that kind of thing is so important, especially when you just want to add props or add things to your characters. This is more efficient than always trying to prompt that exact sword to come back in the image, or so on and so on. Like it is handy to have these images set so you can just edit them later. But now let's take a look at all four of these results. I like her sitting next to the rock here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's good because suddenly she also doesn't have like a ginormous backpack.
Yes, exactly. And we could always get rid of the backpack too, but it is yes, I think that's good. I think that's good. We have a new fishing rod that generated here, so let's go ahead and clean that up here. And little bits here. I like that her hat got mostly preserved. That's good. That's good. That's good. And we could go in and start to describe some background stuff, but this gives us a whole new context for this image. I'm actually also going to get rid of the saddle on the back of the dragon here, and then describe that as a saddle. That'll be the last part of this image edit that I do. So let's go ahead and click this and say that this is a saddleback dragon. And I want to give a little bit up here so that we have something for I forgot what's at the stern, or what is the name of the ball that's at the front of the horse saddle that you hold on to. This is that's where I want that to be. I'm gonna give a little extra room to edit that in there, and then we'll hit submit. I see that we have a couple things in VC Create that are pinging me, so after I get this edit done, we will take a look and submit this for video. I will submit this as a 4:3 video to finish it because I won't. When it comes to the Sage series, I am leaning so hard for 4:3. I'm gonna just run one of those for the fantasy series here. Why not?
Mancer has recreated our living trees from the omnireferencing stream we did a while ago.
Oh yeah.
And now they are looking menacing.
All right, let's take a look. Okay, here. And here's the video prompt with the walking and whatnot. You could see that the video errors. This is actually something that like you would think, oh no, I just wasted a video run. No, you didn't. You didn't. What you did here is you learned what was the things that was problematic with the original image. Not only is she floating on like sandbags through the air, but it understood the apple on the string and all that stuff. Like that's amazing. Like that's great. But it lets us refine what works and what doesn't with this prompt. Like especially when like the height and the awkward perspective and all that kind of stuff. These are all aspects that if you see them as patterns in the video render, you could fix them in the original image.
The one thing that I notice, which is the strongest in my opinion in these renders, is that it thinks she has the backpack on her back, not the dragon. It's not a
Right,
saddle, it's
right.
a backpack of her.
Exactly. So like that is something that you would see, oh, that's a misunderstanding on the AI's part, so therefore and it's also a completely reasonable misunderstanding for anyone to have. Therefore, it's something that you really should just remove. You should just remove it because at that point it's confusing what you're getting out of your video model because every little bit of it, every pixel helps guide the results intention. So I cannot emphasize enough just how important it is to edit the images that you get before you run them as videos. So now that we have this, we're going to basically hit animate manually, and we'll say that now we're going to give a little better context here. We're going to say that she is, or say the small gnome girl in a green tunic is sitting on a rock beside a large dragon.
With a saddle.
I took out the saddle actually. So it's a rock that's there. So let's just say that it's a rock. It's sitting on a rock beside a large dragon. The dragon is eyeing the apple in her hands, and she looks concerned.
His head is moving closer to her. He wants to eat the apple.
Yes. The dragon is desperately wanting to eat that apple. There you go. So we'll let that render here. It's going to be a square video, but that's fine. We are running towards the end of the stream here, guys. I wanted to thank you all so much for hanging out with us here. We did a lot of really cool stuff. I'm so excited to see where you guys can go with this profile as SREF specifically. I feel like we're going to be diving into this one quite a lot moving forward. So I want to do some pretty cool stuff. What about 6-7? Oh, Kinky, you're listening to your son too much. Do you want to do any announcements, Kinky? I know that we're at the end here, but I figured you might want to do your prompt battles announcement. Yeah, all good. We'll wait on Kinky for that.
Hold on.
This is so cool.
And then I'm going to do my announcements.
Yes, you do yours first, Raps.
Well, then I go first. So, as you might have heard earlier today, right after this show concludes, we're going to switch over to the Gnarly Studios server and have our famous show after the show, which is then going to continue. You can come up on the stage to us, like with us. We're all in one channel. Talk with each other, ask us questions, whatever. It's a great community hangout that we're just having there every single week. And if this is not enough for you, then you can also return on Wednesdays when we have our jam sessions and the occasional Gnarly Studios specific workshop. And in general, on the jam sessions, you bring your own work with you. We're just sitting next to each other and working alongside each other, helping each other out. If Victor doesn't get the streamer itch and is starting vocalizing every single step he's doing, which also happens, then it becomes an impromptu stream. And if you just want to have some fun with us, get to know the community and play some games, on Thursdays we also play games in our game night, where we mainly play tabletop simulated games like Catan or Unstable Unicorns, and sometimes we also dive into Worms WMD and just shoot each other on maps we created ourselves. and do funny stuff. And sometimes we even do crazy other role playing things and completely wild stuff. But feel free to join the server, to join the community, come over and participate in any of these. And if you want to do more mid journey and maybe battle some people, then this would be the perfect situation for a Kinky Kong to announce loudly that she's here and ready so I can stop talking and making the longest transition of my life.
Well, hi. My name is Kinky, and I'm here to announce Prompt Battles. Prompt Battles, you ask, what is that? Prompt Battles is an event that we do every Saturday and Sunday afternoon, and sometimes a little bit morning. Um, every 15 minutes, we start a round where one person will suggest something for us to prompt, and we all go in our own separate directions, prompt it, bring it back while we chat together in a room. And they bring it back, and then we judge it. Um, it's very anonymous. You don't get to know who posted what image. You don't get to know who voted for what image. But whoever wins gets to tell us what to do in the next round, and they win a free fast hour. You can win free fast hours for participating or playing bingo, and sometimes even if a moderate ad wins. But we play this from on Saturdays. We go from 3 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, and on Sundays we go from 11 a.m. Eastern to 6. Sorry, to 7 p.m. Eastern. But I'd love it if you joined us. It's a great time. You can win free fast hours. You can meet new people, learn how to prompt things that you might not have known how to do before, and just talk about whatever we want. And we listen to music. It's a real good time. So I hope you join us, and I hope you go over to Victor's stream after this show, and I will see you guys next time I see you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that,
Thanks so much.
Kinky. Yeah, and be sure to pop over to Prompt Battles. It's heavily recommended to get yourself out of the box and make things the way other people are making things. It's really cool. The I do want to mention something before we head on out here. I just want to say that I know what we're doing next week because Enid is getting us there right now. She has created storyboards for an entire scene involving her character talking with looks like maybe a potion master or something like that. But look at all the different angles of the characters speaking to each other. This is a wonderful starting point. Let's make this complete scene next week. Like we're basically we've gone over the core style like construction of the shots. Let's actually make this a storyboard and make this into a short film. I think that's the goal
I
for
mean,
next week.
if we don't spontaneously decide that next week is going to be our Christmas stream.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I okay. I do want to mention that really quick. 26th is a Friday. It's the day after Christmas, right? I'm not sure if anyone's gonna be here to do it. Like, I'm not. I'm just not sure. I'll have to update the community a little later. I haven't talked about it with anybody about what to do for that day, but we have January 2nd and we have the next stream. So it could be that the next stream is the last stream of the year, or it's the 26th. I just don't know
Yeah,
yet,
we
guys.
were talking about taking the holiday off for prompt battles. So
Okay, all right. So I would say that the next stream might be our last one of the year, and then we'll see you guys again on the second after that. But next week, be here.
yeah,
Awesome, guys. All right. Well, I'll head it. I'll see you at the show after the show, and thank you all so much for being here during the stream, especially the early birds that were here since the very beginning. I appreciate you guys so much. You don't even know. But I will see you all next week, and also thank you so much to Kinky and AC for being here, and for Rhapsody for co-hosting with me today.
bye bye.
Always. Now, get your asses over to the show after the show so you're there.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. See you guys.